Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the virtual pub. What is the virtual pub? You should have watched the first episode, then you'd know. Alright, let's get on with this. So, I'd like to talk a little bit more about the, dealing with pushing yourself. Like, you found your dream, you've got your passion, but pushing yourself until it's no longer a dream becomes a bit of a chore. You want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah, I think I was really lucky to find what spun my wheels, found martial arts, and it just naturally seemed to fuel me and give me energy, like we talked about earlier. It would be you put a lot of energy in, but on the flip side of it, when you leave, you feel more energized than kind of when you walked in. So I got a bit addicted to that and pushed my body, and it just possessed me, became my everything. Just eat, sleep, breathe, always thinking about it. Then grew up, so I started when I was a teenager, had a kid, so needed to pay bills, so put that on the back burner, kind of walked away, worked hard for 5 years, burnt out in a different way because I wasn't getting that energy from passion and working with my purpose. And then got back into training and pursuing it and thinking, well, how can I make it a bit better? How can I create an industry around this or help create an industry around it and make opportunities for other people. So I think when you find what you love and you commit to it, that's when you can find out what you're capable of. I think that if you really love something, you're probably, from my experience, probably going to overindulge and push yourself to a point where it's a bit too much. We like to talk about finding your -1 in this game. So whether it's been for Jiu-Jitsu, getting choked, if you've ever been choked unconscious, you know that that's your ceiling. And so you've kind of got to figure out how to -1 from that, be aware of the signs that are leading towards falling over. But yeah, I just apply that to anything in life really. Know where my -1 is, push as hard as I can and make no excuses. Yeah, I guess.
So, what aspect of your training makes you feel truly alive? Is it the competing, the training?
The part that makes me feel most alive is the application in training. So when it comes to sparring and we're rolling, I think that's when I feel most alive. When you kind of put it all together and get to go to work. For me, it gives me an escape from the chaos of everyday life. When I'm having some hard rounds with my team, there really is nothing but what's happening. There's no past, there's no future, there's kind of what's happening right now, where you want to be and preserving what you've got at that time. And that's when I feel alive, because there's nothing but the moment. And when I can have that mental health space to go in and do that and escape everything else about being a grown-up, that's when I feel most alive. Then going away and competing and stuff, that's fun as well, just having experiences, but I think that's just auxiliary to the work in here. It's essentially just replicating that outside, and you get to meet new people and go different places, and people are hyping about it and other people are freaking about it. But yeah, the gold of it makes me feel alive is practicing, putting it all together.
That present moment, so more the state of consciousness?
Yeah, 100%, yes. It's just when I'm there, there's nothing, there's no medals, there's no trophies, there's no one booing, there's no one cheering. It's just me and myself and somebody else that's agreeing that they'll give me nothing, and I'll give them nothing, and anything that's got has been taken. It's nice. It's primitive, it's raw, it's like brainstem level shit with but being conscious in it. You know, like some people panic and freak in that kind of pressure. It's real. There's nothing subjective about it. If I lose my position or I get caught, that's just a consequence of actions or inactions or whatever, all the ingredients that came together. And it's nice, it's easy to deal with. Yeah.
So do you practice any type of meditation, anything to still your mind or keep your mental health?
In or outside of the gym?
Either.
A little bit. I think my biggest form of meditation is in here doing the rounds, doing the rolling, doing the hard rolls. Because you see it, I used to experience it. You can be angry, you can be emotional, you can be crying or yelling or screaming, but it doesn't change anything. You know, so that the application of it in rolling is the thing that makes it, reinforces it. Because no matter, I'm the only one that feels a certain way about the outcomes that are happening on the mat or in the process of what's happening on the mat. So that's where I build it, and then I apply it in my everyday life. You know, if my work, if things are stressful, I just take a breath. You know, like, okay, let's go. It is what it is. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to feel your body tingling and charged up, but a lot of visualising. But in terms of any discipline, if I'd say as a common practice would be just this. This is it for me. A lot of people say, oh, you should meditate more. You sit down and stay still. And I'm like, man, I like the act of meditation. I like it to be meditation with consequences. You know, if you're drifting away and you're not present, you're going to be in a worse position. Or there's a good chance you'll end up in a worse position. Yeah.
Excellent. Is that hippie that says you should be meditating?
Nah, heaps of people say, oh, you should do more meditation, it's good for you. And I'm like, yeah, it is. Yep, I'm sure it is. I'm a busy motherfucker though. You think I should sit down for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour and just close my eyes and that's cool. I'd probably sleep 5 hours a day. And I don't really want to sleep 4.5. And when I sit down, I kind of want to be sitting down, relaxing. Yeah.
Cool. So, looking back, what advice would you give your younger self?
I think listen to your body. Definitely. I banged my body up pretty good, pretty young, always pushing through exhaustion and pushing myself to my limits, and it helped me, but it made it a real short game. You know, I had cartilage reattached to both my hips with micro fractures and had the femur heads shaved and modified to stop the cartilage coming off. I've had ACL reconstruction and right shoulder stabilisation, cracky wrists and ankles, and have my septum straightened out. I walk with a limp and a bit of a hobble sometimes if I'm tired, and I think it's I wouldn't change any of that. But I would advise my younger self or other younger people to listen to their bodies and be a bit more forgiving. You know, we kind of have this particularly in these kinds of environments, is everybody has this idea of what they think it means to be hard or tough, you know. So then they come in a space like this with their own dispositions, and they're like, this is what a fighter does, or a warrior or martial artist, this idea they have. And a lot of that, for most people, I think, is just like, you don't complain, you get on with it, suffer harder, suffer more, suffer longer. And then that's what the great heroes of the comic books and movies that we watch do. But yeah, the long game of it is there's got to be enough time for your body to heal itself. Otherwise, you might have these great days as a young person, and then when you're older, you're going to be crippled. So yeah, I would say listen to my body, be more forgiving, be more patient, yeah.
Yeah, those injuries become quite annoying as you get older.
Yeah, they're just irritating and inconvenient. And I don't feel sorry for myself, and I'm just like, come on, do the thing, leg. Yeah.
I got a shoulder with taking that year off. I was able to heal and it's reconnected. Yeah. But I was walking around and my shoulder would just like pop out of the socket, and you're like...
Yeah, I was dislocating one every day at training. I went to the doctor and I was like, man, training again. It's probably 5 years ago. I was like, training again. Shoulder, old injury, still pops out every day. I could throw a hook, and if it connected with someone else's hook or a solid guard, it would be bang. You know, grappling would always be.
That happened in a title fight in Te Puke about a month ago. Yeah? Yeah. It was like fucking about 3 punches in, threw a punch and boom, out of shoulder, went fight over.
Yeah. Gutted, eh? Like, my doctor ended up prescribing me like 500 tremadols. And I was like, because I was training South Taranaki, and I was like, I got a manual. When my right shoulder goes, I can't hold the steering wheel properly and change gears. And so if I had some tramadol, I can hold it. And I'm training down there 2-3 times a week, and I work down there. I'm training in town as well, so these work, and they're like, oh yeah, okay. 500 of these bloody tremadols. So just like take 2 after my ship would pop out. But then 2 wasn't really working, so then it was like 3. And then I was like, man, I'm getting a bit numb here. I'm not all good with this. And it kind of took all that and using bloody fucking roller strapping tape a day. I'm like, nah. When I got surgery, and that was cool. Because I had to stop. But my mates would be like, fuck bro. Be on the mat at the end, like already dislocated my shoulder back in more training, and then on the ground like, come on you pussy. And they'd be like, fuck bro, just go home. I'd be like, you bitch. They go in there, wrestle some more, scratch some more. That's the thing I'd be warning myself about. Like, why? What is... Okay, yep, cool. You're the toughest dude in the room. You'll suffer more than anybody else. Well done. Your shoulder can't stay in for 24 hours. You win the prize.
So how do you get on doing things that they're not really mainstream, when outside society is telling you that you should be working, have the nice house, have the nice car, all those sorts of things? How do you get on, like, being your authentic self and doing what you're passionate about, and not being affected by outside views of what you should be doing?
It can be hard, like I said, I stopped for a while there when my daughter was born, and did the things I thought I was supposed to do. I got a good job, worked a lot, we didn't need anything, we had the money to buy things, had lots of toys, and went away and did stuff with my family, ate out all the time, so I kind of felt like I was ticking the boxes for the story that was already written, but it didn't make me happy, so I was lucky that I got to find something that really made me happy, and then went and did the thing that I thought, did it the way I thought I was supposed to do it, and then just got to realise like how unhappy that made me, going through the motions. So then started going out and doing my own thing, and I think you just, it takes a bit of time, but I just stay true to me and what I believe, and then I don't have to lie and make up stories and keep up with stories. I just stay me, and it makes it easy. And then with that, over time, I think, as your network grows, because you're spending more energy doing what you love, and you're in that space, you get more validation, because people will talk to other people about you, and then those people will talk to you, much kind of like this. You start to meet more people, and then the feedback loop changes. It's not you just on the fringes thinking that you're doing something that's right, that aligns with you, but then the doubt of maybe it doesn't, maybe it's not what we're supposed to do. I know, I was lucky, I guess. But at the end of the day, if, I'm the one I've got to go to sleep with at night. So if I'm trying to be anything other than me, then that's gonna trouble me, and I'll let my subconscious talk to me in that way and keep me on my track. Is the things that I'm doing, is the life that I'm living, is the way that I'm behaving, truly an authentic reflection of the person that I am and want to become. So, but it is hard. People will think, like, why don't you have a house? Why don't you buy a house? You do this, why don't you go and do that? Why don't you go and do what everybody else is doing? It's like, man, there's a whole lot of other people, everybody else, who are unhappy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always just tell people, find what you love and do that. Obviously we all have obligations as grown-ups and members of society, things we must do, but don't get caught up in other people's dreams, eh?
Any advice on how to find your thing?
I would think, my approach, I kind of did it. I knew martial arts was my thing, but I went and did a whole lot of it once I found it. But if I'm interested in something, anything, I'll go and look for it. I'll go and look for the ninjas, so to speak, whether it's beekeeping, gardening, or kickboxing, hapkido, Jiu-Jitsu, whatever. I'll go and study it so I can get a decent taste of it. So for people that are looking for their passion, I would say, what's something that you're interested in? And then go and find the people that are good at it. Go and research it. I prefer to meet people, if I can meet people, because you're not just getting information, you're getting the emotional experience and the passion of the person that's ended up in that position sharing. And it becomes infectious. The other good thing about meeting people and studying, like even small courses or classes with people that are passionate about something, is your learning curve is often very steep early in the game. So you come in and you know nothing, and you go away and then you know something. But so your growth is like compared to where it was. And then the longer you stay at things, the more that line kind of flattens out, because you're just sharpening what you know and reinforcing all that. So my advice is to go, and if you're interested in something, don't have to be passionate about it, but if you're interested or curious, go and find the people that are the ninjas and go and have a jam with them, have a train, find out what there is, what they do, what their process is for getting people to a level, and give yourself enough time to get involved, take a couple of gems away, and then go, does this really motivate and inspire me? And if it doesn't, then that's all good. You're still a better person than you were. What else are you interested in? I'll just keep rinsing and repeating that and staying where the passion is. And I'm enjoying this, I'm getting passionate but interested. And I think it's once you find that you're thinking about and looking up and having questions and researching and studying and correlating the things you've learnt somewhere outside of that space, whether it's day to day or at work or at home, those are some pretty good signs that there's a bit of passion there. Yeah.
I film people interviewing all the time at the studio, and it just flows for them. I thought, fuck, this will be easy.
What's the message we're trying to share?
Well, it's mainly for blokes that are they're living their life, they're hitting their middle years and thinking they're not happy. A lot of them either start drinking, suicide, drugs, whatever, having affairs, new marriage, and they don't really know how to find that passion in their life, find who they really should be. So that was the intent that I started off with.
Okay, let me think, how would I answer that in the close? Yep, I know what I'll say. My closing bit, my little words of wisdom. You know, a life without passion isn't a life at all. And so I think it's really important for people to find passion. Otherwise we risk misplacing that in other things or acts, whether it's shitty diet or partying or overworking or many of the destructive outlets that we tend to immerse ourselves in as we carry on through life without any self-driven direction. So if you haven't identified what that passion is for you or what that thing is, I would say you're probably not going to find it where you're looking if you haven't already found it. So it's really important to go out and start looking for things without the intention of finding your passion. Passion will come as a byproduct of that journey, but actually just going out and living and experiencing life. We can get stuck in a rut when we just get stuck in the same routine. It seems endless, that it's wake up, I go to work these days, I kiss the wife, and then I go to the kids' rugby, or whatever you do, all the things. It can feel like a prison. So it's important to spice that up, whether it's go for a walk in a different park, or join a community group doing something, or do a short course, or study for something. Or you've just got to add more flavour to your life until you find what fits you. It might be martial arts, it might be knitting, you know, who knows, it might be surfing, it could be sewing, who knows what it is, but you're never going to find it if you haven't found it and you keep doing what you're already doing. So, yeah. That's what I want to say.
Brilliant.
Questions.
Yeah, so it's drew a blank.
Yeah, we don't want the question mark.
Thought. Did you say something? Perfect.
It's that moment of truth, like, oh shit.